They said you were a conspiracy theorist for believing basic truths about COVID-19, and now it turns out, yeah, you were right. Remember when you thought that maybe the coronavirus came from that lab right there in Wuhan that was designed specifically to research coronavirus and sort of manipulate them? Yeah, turns out now the Department of Energy says, ooh, that seems to be what happened. Yeah, they've got their own intelligence officials over there in the Department of Energy. Why does the Department of Energy have spies? And those spies have decided that turns out the Wuhan lab is the most likely place where the coronavirus leaked out. I remember when Senator Tom Cotton, who I think probably knows a little bit more about this than your typical 23-year-old social media manager with a journalism degree, Tom Cotton, senator, he actually said, yeah, I think this is something that's worth investigating. This is probably true. Boy, did they cancel him. Just look at these headlines. Senator Tom Cotton repeats fringe theory of coronavirus origins. That was the New York Times. Tom Cotton is playing a dangerous game with his coronavirus speculation. CNN. Don't listen to Senator Tom Cotton about coronavirus. HuffPost. Is there still a HuffPost? The Washington Post may win the prize, though. Look at this one. Tom Cotton keeps repeating a coronavirus conspiracy theory that was already debunked. The Department of Energy just confirmed that conspiracy theory. It hasn't been debunked. Of course it hasn't been debunked. It hasn't even been investigated, for God's sake. As usual, CNN was probably the most hysterical in calling you names and saying that you're a complete tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy theorist. Here's just a few of their headlines. Lab leak COVID-19 theory is like something out of a comic book, virologist says. Nearly 30% of the U.S. believe a coronavirus theory that's almost certainly not true. Coronavirus almost certainly came from an animal, not a lab leak, top scientists agree. Notice how they keep saying almost certainly? That's because, well, it's true. In fact, CNN had a breaking news alert this weekend telling all of their viewers, all 12 of them, that it looks like that Wuhan lab did leak the coronavirus, according to the Department of Energy. Of course, this weekend, the Washington Post also reported on the Department of Energy's findings. And this guy, Glenn Kessler, he works for the Washington Post. He's their fact checker. He does the thing with the Pinocchios, you know. And then Senator Cruz wrote an op-ed saying it sure looks like the COVID-19 virus came from a lab leak in Wuhan. Well, Glenn Kessler, with all his Pinocchio noses, was Johnny on the spot. Look at this. I fear Ted Cruz missed the scientific animation in the video that shows how it's virtually impossible for this virus to jump from the lab, or the many interviews with actual scientists. We deal in facts, and viewers can judge for themselves. Of course, the origins of COVID-19 isn't the only thing that was yesterday's conspiracy theory and now today's Pulitzer Prize-winning journalistic discovery. How about masks? You didn't think those masks were making a big difference in your life, but if you dare say that out loud, you were called a nut. Well, here's the latest study, and it's an extensive one. It shows that the masks, in general, didn't work. They didn't do anything. They didn't actually stop the spread of the virus. The paper, a rigorous assessment of 78 studies, was published by Cochrane, an independent policy institution that has become well known for its reviews. Their conclusion? Turns out the Cochrane review says masking studies finds that when it comes to an entire population, there's no evidence to support that masking reduces the spread of a disease, including COVID-19. And then there's one more thing that liberals are a little crazy about this weekend, and it's the Saturday Night Live monologue by Woody Harrelson. I mean, what could he possibly say that would upset them?
So the movie goes like this. The biggest drug cartels in the world get together and buy up all the media and all the politicians and force all the people in the world to stay locked in their homes, and people can only come out if they take the cartel's drugs and keep taking them over and over. I threw the script away. I mean, who is gonna believe that crazy idea? Being forced to do drugs? I do that voluntarily all day long.